everyone, this is Rosa Kelly. Welcome back to part 2 of my Cascade Gatefold mini album tutorial for JS Hobbies and Crafts. So as you recall, on part 1 we work on the sheets. So we have the 4 sheets that are all different sizes, and then we also work on the binding. So now we are going to put it together and decorate the album. So I'm gonna put the sheets on the side for now, and I'm gonna go back to the binding. So I'm going to start with a piece of cardstock, and I'm going to cut that in half. So this measures 8.5 by 11, so I'm going to cut this at 5.5, just like this. So I have 2 pieces of 8.5 by 5.5, and I'm going to put this on the side over there. So now these pieces are going to go on my spine, the inside part of my spine, so everything looks clean before we put the hinges. So I'm going to just go ahead and glue this down. So I have the first piece here, and I'm just going to center it on the spine like that. And now I'm going to grab a ruler, and I'm just gonna place this. You're gonna see the 2 little bending marks on the spine, like these ones here. So we're just gonna find those. You will feel it, and make sure you find both the top and the bottom, and then we're just gonna score gently. You don't want to break your cardstock. So then we're gonna do the same on this other one here. Okay, so just like this. Again, you're gonna score like so, and now I'm just gonna bend this again. Oops, and my glue wasn't dry all the way, so make sure you wait a little bit before you do this, before you bend it. And then we're gonna bend this one more time, and now I'm gonna do the same on this other side. Okay, so now we're gonna work on the hinges. For the hinges, we're gonna do 2 separate ones. So the first one, I'm going to cut a piece at 7 3/4. So now I'm gonna do something a little bit different than I do before. So this hinge is going to be modified a little bit. So I'm going to place this long ways like so, and I'm going to score at 5 3/4. Because I just want to know where that is, because we are going to need this mark for later. Okay, so now we're gonna flip this around, and we're gonna do our hinge like we usually do it. So I'm gonna score at 2, and then I'm going to do a 3/4 inch for my first gusset. So I'm gonna score at 2 3/4 like that, and then I'm gonna score a 3.5 and a 4 1/4 for my first page. And now, because I'm going to skip a page, I'm going to score at 1.5 away, which is going to be 5 3/4. So let's see, 4 1/4, 5 1/4, and then half more, so 5 3/4. Okay, so this is going to be a large gusset. And now we're going to do the second page. So we need 2 3/4 inches. So I'm going to do 6.5 and 7 1/4, and I'm going to put all the dimensions here on the screen so you guys can follow along and pause the video if you need to look it up. Okay, so I'm gonna start with that, and so I'm going to, the first 2 inches is what's going to be into our album, and then we're gonna fold. The next one here is the first gusset, and then the next 2 we're gonna fold into this little heel that we always do, like so. And then we're gonna skip this large gusset and put these other 2 up like that. So you're gonna end up with a hinge like this. So now I'm going to use the score line that we did at 5 3/4, and I'm just going to cut like this all the way until the first hinge. So when you finish your first hinge, then we're gonna go at an angle connecting to the second hinge. So I'm just gonna go like this, and it doesn't have to be perfect. This is going to be covered like that. So something like this we are gonna have for the hinge on the left side. And I didn't do a score here because I always like to do that after we put this into the album. So now I'm gonna turn this to the back, and I'm going to add my double-sided tape. One here, one there, and one on the back here, like so. Okay, so feel free to pause and rewind if you need to look at it a couple times before you do it. But I think it's very simple. It's just a little bit different than what we usually do. All right, so I'm just putting these two together, and now we have the hinge for the left side. Now I'm going to do kind of the same for the other side. For this one, I'm not gonna trim this. I'm going to score at 6 3/4. Okay, so that is going to be where we're gonna cut this, like that. Okay, and now I'm going to start here, and I'm gonna score again at 2. Okay, 2 3/4, and that's gonna be the gusset. And then I'm going to do 3 1/2 and 4 1/4, just like we did before. And then I'm gonna skip for 1 1/2 inches, which means I'm going to mark at 5 3/4 again. Okay, and now I'm gonna do another hinge, so 6 1/2 and 7 1/4. And again, I'm gonna have all these dimensions on the screen somewhere. So now I'm gonna do exactly the same that we did. I'm gonna skip the 2 inches and the first 3/4 inch, and I'm going to put these next 2 together, and then I will put these other 2 again together like this. Okay, so we have these 2 pieces, but now we're gonna go, instead of cutting like we did on the left side, from the left side, we are going to now trim this from the right side. So we're gonna cut from here, from the right side, and this could later be trimmed if this is too long, but for now I think we're okay. I'm going to cut all the way until the end of this hinge like this, and now I'm gonna go on zigzag like so. Okay, this one looks better than the previous one. So now I can put my scoreboard away, and I'm gonna turn this around and add my score tape on the back, just like this. 1 and 2 here. Okay, so now I'm just going to put this together. 1 here and 1 here. So now we have the one for the other side. So this should be opposite of each other, and one is 1 inch bigger than this one. So you could probably see how they're all different sizes. Okay, so before I put these in the album, we are going to go ahead and add the score tape. It's a lot easier to do over here than after we put it. So remember to put your score tape closest to the outside edge of your hinge. And now for this step, I'm using the 3/8 inch tape. You can also use 1/2 inch tape if you have 1/2 inch tape. Okay, So I always leave this void. We make our hinges at 3/4 inch, and we only put tape on like half. And the reason for that is because you don't want your pages touching the hinge or the spine. Okay, you want it out a little bit, so that's why I leave that little space. Okay, so now I'm gonna do both sides like this. Okay. And now we can go ahead and add these into our book. Okay, so now I have this long piece. Let me start with this side. So we're gonna place this one on the left side. Now this first score line that we did at 2 inches, we're going to align this to the score line here, okay? And now for this album, we are going to place it really close to the bottom edge. You don't want to center it, okay, like we always do. We want to put it really close to the bottom without touching the bottom. Okay, so I'm just going to do this step using my glue. So make sure you put a gentle amount of glue. Okay, so I'm just gonna place this right there. This score line is your guide of where you're gonna place it, and then we're just gonna push it down and make sure it's dry before you bend your pages. So now I'm going to prepare this other side with the tape. So now we're gonna do the other side. I have the tape and I have the glue on the back here. So this time, oh, and I actually did trim these, so I'm just leaving about 1 inch on this side. So I am going to now align the score line that we did to the score line here. So again, you want to place this as close as you can to the bottom edge, you know. So actually this one you can center up and down because this is the larger one. Okay, so now I'm just going to press this down and wait for this to dry. So now you should end up with a piece like this where you have short, tall, and tall, short, like so. Okay, so hopefully we are doing good so far. So now I'm going to go ahead and score just again on this line, and then this line over here did not have a score line. So now I'm going to again find the little place where the binding folds to give it a little score mark, just like this. Okay. And same thing on this side. We have the score line here, so I'm just going to go one more time. And for this side, we actually don't need the score line because I cut this piece short. But I'm just gonna go here. Okay, so now we are ready to fold the album. So I'm gonna start here. Always use your ruler to help yourself fold the album. So here's this one, and then I'm gonna do this side here, and this one, oops, this one here. Let's see, here you go. So I press the ruler down, that way I don't get any bubbles at the minute that I'm bending this. So now we are ready to add the pages into the album. So I think this time I'm just going to add the pages, and then I'm going to decorate because I want to be able to see where things are going to touch each other, so you know where to avoid like flowers or embellishments or things like that. So I'm going to start by peeling off the tape of this little one, which is my 6-inch piece. And I'm just gonna place it in right on top of the tape and take off the tape. Oops, little piece in here. Okay, then I'm gonna turn this around and take off the tape on the back. like so. All right, so now the next one will be on this side, so I'm gonna leave that one here, and then I'm going to do this other one that goes on this side here, which is the 8-inch one. So now I'm just gonna find the center, and I'm gonna place it right in here. Make sure it's the center. Okay. Just like so. And now we're gonna take off tape on both sides. Just like so. All right, now we're gonna do the same over here. So now we're gonna start with the 9-inch piece. So I think I want this one to be on the front. It really doesn't matter. So now, because the page measures 9 inches and your album also measures 9 inches, make sure you're not sticking out from anywhere. So you have to make sure you center it right. Okay, so I'm finding the center here, and then I'm just making sure I am good on both sides. And now I'm gonna take off the tape and take off the tape on the back. And then finally, we are going to do the 7-inch piece. So again, you choose which page you want first, and it really doesn't make a difference. Okay, so I'm just going to place this one here, turn this around, and take off the tape here as well. All right, so we have the construction pretty much done for the album. Now for this back piece, for this back page, I have a different layout that I want to do, but first I just want to see how this album closes up. I think it's so fun to have these cascading pages like that, and it's gonna look so nice once we add our beautiful paper design and our embellishments. So excited. I love it. I even love how it looks from the top. Okay, so now for the back, let's do this. So we're gonna work here. So now I'm going to use 4 sheets, and I'm going to cut one at 9 by 6 3/4. Okay, and then I'm going to cut 3. So here I have 2. I'm gonna do 2 at 9 by 7 1/4. Okay, so then I'm gonna do one more. Actually, yeah, I think one more is enough. Of 9 by 7 1/4. So the 9 by 7 1/4 pieces, we are going to score at 1/2 inch on one side. So we have 3, 2, and 3, like that. And then we are going to fold along the score lines. And what I'm creating is just like a little accordion page that will come out of the back of the book. All right, so for that, I'm gonna use my tape. I'm just gonna use this small one. So I'm just gonna add my tape here, and then I'm gonna grab the small one that we did at 6 3/4, which is the base for these, and I'm going to do one at a time. So I'm going to do one on here on the left. Oops. Okay, make sure that is right on top of it, like so. And now we're gonna do one on the right on top of this, the one that we just added. So I'm gonna seal. Take a little bit off the tape here. Put this right on top of this one, like so. Okay, and then we have one more, and this one I'm going to place again on the other side. Okay. So just like this. And now we're gonna have a long accordion piece, like so. Now you can add a couple more if you want a lot more interaction, but you also don't want to make your album too thick. All right, so now I'm ready to place this accordion that we did right on the back of the album. So we make sure it's center and we are not touching the score lines on either one of the sides. And here we go. We are good to go. I love it. I love, there's tons and tons of places to add pictures, and then we still need to do the inserts, so there's really is a lot of space for pictures here. Okay, so now I'm going to close these and we are going to work on the cover. So now we're ready to embellish the album. So this collection is so pretty. So what I love is to go through all of them and then see which one kind of calls my attention a little bit more. But I was just looking at these and they are all so pretty that, you know, really either one will work for the cover. But I kind of want to save the ones that have tags and cutouts to use as tags. But look how pretty, love it. Okay, so then let me pick one here. I love this one too. But, oh, I love this one, yeah. I think I'm gonna use that piece. Okay, so now our album measures 9 by 7. So we are going to cut, and then this piece measures 5 and this one measures 2. So I'm going to cut this at 8 3/4 by, let's see, 4 3/4, and then 1 3/4. Okay, so we're gonna need these pieces like so, and I am working with 2 paper collections because you only get 1 of each design, so you definitely need 2. So I just want to make sure that it fits, which it does. And this one too. See, this one I probably need to cut just a little bit smaller. Okay. So, oh, I think I cut it. Oh, I grabbed the wrong size. It should be this one. No, that's too small. Okay, never mind. Alright, so let me do this again. 1 3/4. Yeah, I cut it at 2 inches. That's why it's a little bit too big. Okay, so now this is 1 3/4. So I'm going to use this Distress ink. Now this one is called Brush Corduroy by Team Holtz, and I'm going to distress the edges all around. Okay, so I really love how pretty this looks. It just gives it that extra touch, so it kind of looks like old wood. Love this color. I haven't tried this color before. I usually stick to like vintage photo, and there's a couple other that I like. So I'm actually staining it quite a lot so it looks like a piece of wood. I really like how this looks. Okay, just like that. And then I'm going to do the same on this big piece. So I'm done distressing, and then I also cut a 9 by 7 piece for the back, which actually it's not 9 by 7, it's 8 3/4 by 6 3/4, and that should fit on the back of your album. So I'm gonna start with this piece. Just gonna place this down. just like so. I'm kind of running out of glue. So hopefully I have enough to finish adding all the papers. Okay, so now I have the back, and now we're gonna do the front. Now I'm going to use this brass antique little closure, but first we're going to add the papers here on the front. So let me do one here. So let's do this one. Like that. Make sure that it's pretty even. And then I'm gonna do this smaller piece. Okay. Right here. Like so. Okay. Take off this glue. Alright. So here we go. Oh my goodness, I love it already. So I'm gonna grab a pencil and I'm going to see where I want my hook to be. Okay, so I'm gonna start with this piece here. Actually, let me put them together because it's also important to know the spacing in between them. Okay, so kind of like this. Okay, put this down. So, and then I also want to center it up and down. And so where I want it, I'm going to mark with my pencil, just like so. Okay, and I'm going to punch 2 holes right where I did my pencil marks. Here, let me clean these up with my little hook. I didn't clean it up. Okay, so again, we're gonna look for our pencil marks and make sure you're using the little one. Okay, like that. And the other pencil mark, it's right here. Okay, so now we have it in position where we want this, just like that. And there's not really a lot of surface to glue this down, but you still want to put just a little glue just so it's not wobbling around. Okay, so I'm gonna place it down like so, and then I'm going to secure these using brads. Okay, so I have the first piece down, and now we're going to attach the second one like this again, and close this to see where you want it. So let's make sure the other one is closed really good. I'm going to use this clip to kind of help me. And let's see here, I kind of want it right there, right there, right down here. It's kind of hard to pencil mark because it keeps opening right now. And now I'm gonna take these off, and I'm gonna place these again where I put the pencil mark, and put the second pencil mark right there. Okay, and now I can go ahead and punch the holes one more time. Again, I need to, okay, get that out, and here we go. Find the pencil mark. Make sure that you are center in there too. And then there's one more. It's not coming out. Push it out and do one more. Right there. Okay. So now again, I'm going to just add a little bit of glue around. It did help because it did glue even before I put the brads on the other one. Okay, so now I'm just gonna grab it, place it here, right there, and right there. And then I'm just gonna put my brads. I'm gonna do one at a time. And so these brads I just had in my stash, and they're long enough so they provide a really like long grip. And then you also want to make sure that your brads have a small head, because I was trying with these ones. See the difference? These ones are a little bit too big, so then this piece was getting stuck and it wasn't going. So make sure you get the tiny brads, small ones. Okay, so now I'm just gonna go back here and I'm gonna bend it, and I'm gonna secure this with tape. So now we are ready. We can cover these pieces and this piece here as well. And I'm gonna let this dry for a little bit. Okay, so now we have the closure added to the album. I really like how it looks. So I'm just going to continue embellishing. I'm going to be using these Blossom blends. Again, all the supply list is going to be on the description box below. Now I think I'm going to be adding just a little bit of color into these flowers to make them look just a bit more rustic, just a tad more. Okay, so I'm just gonna play around with these. So I think I really like how this looks, this little cluster. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start gluing this down carefully so I don't mess it up. But let me start with these flowers. I'm gonna do that one there, and then this one here, and then I'm going to glue these green pieces down like this, this other one down like this. And now these beautiful Prima little frames, they think they're called, show you here, these are called vintage trinkets, and they come with these glass pieces. So I'm gonna find a pretty image to add there, and then I'm going to put this glass piece on top. So I think that's gonna look really cute. So let me glue this one as well. Whoops. Just like so. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add this big one right there to hold this one down. And this one, of course, let me just add a little glue here to hold this down. And now this, I love this, like it's so rustic, so pretty. So I'm just gonna add this piece like this. Hold this one down, hold that one down. Okay, and then I'm just gonna add this last one. Kind of right here, like so. Okay, so now we're gonna wait for this to dry, and I'm gonna do this one's here. Okay, so I really like how this looks. I think it adds a lot to the book. Put that one there, these two there, and now I'm gonna do this one right there, like so. It looks so pretty. And then finally, because this is going to be a love album, I mean, with this collection, like I said, you can really make it into anything. You know, it can be like a family album, baptism. It's just so pretty. But I think mine is going to be a wedding album. So I also have this hemp natural hemp cord. So I'm gonna use little pieces of these to add like on the background, just to give it that little extra rustic element. I think it looks really cool. It just adds a lot. So let me add a little bit more on the other side. So all I do is just like roll it up like this. And let's see if we can still add it here on the back. We add a little glue. Okay. And there we go. This little piece back here. I think this is already kind of dry. So I'm gonna add a little more glue. And whoops. Let me roll it up again. Okay. It kind of looks like a little nest, like a little messy little thing like that. And then I'm just gonna, oh, I love it. So pretty. What are you doing? My little dog is trying to bury something in the carpet. Doesn't work like that. We are done with the cover, and so now I'm gonna cut and add the papers on the inside of the book to save a little time on the video, and then we'll be back and finish up the album. Okay, so I have all my paper put in, and I just want to show you how I love how they slide within each other. So I really like the effect and the look of it. So now I'm going to add a little bit of embellishments. So I did add this little twine here for closure. This is like a little burlap twine. And then let me just quickly show you how I added these papers. Now I haven't finished adding all the papers. I probably don't have enough to cover like the back, for example, here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna create some white photo mats and then use some of the scrap pieces of paper to just decorate on the side. So I will do that later, but for now, yeah, so I just wanted to show you, see, like places like these. So what I do is I usually put my design paper on the places, the key places, if you must say, where you will see it. So you want to open it up and then see the beautiful paper, and then the insides you can just go ahead and fill with white paper. We are gonna fill this with pictures anyway, so yeah, so I use 2 paper packs. If you want to cover everything, you probably need 3 of these Ciao Bellas. Now on this side, I think I'm gonna create a little booklet because I do have a large gusset here in between this and this page. so I do have room, so I'm gonna be doing that. Also, I wanted to share with you the inserts for the pages that I already cut. So you are gonna cut these at 5 3/4 for the width, and then for the height, for example, for this first one, you're going to, this measures 6, so this piece is gonna be 5 3/4. This one measures 7, so you're gonna do 6 3/4 to fit them here. Okay, so now the way that I made them, they're gonna go all the way through and you don't see them. If you want to see it, you can cut it a little bit wider here. But what I was thinking on doing is I'm gonna use this beautiful lace that was also sent on my DT package, and I'm gonna put it here on the border, so all you see from this insert is the lace. So I'm gonna cut this right here. Always cut it a little bit bigger, and then after you add it, then you can go ahead and trim again. So I'm just gonna use my fabric glue for the lace, just like this. And now I'll go back and I just take out that little piece. Okay, so I'm gonna do that to all my photo mats, to my photo inserts. So I have my 4 inserts, so I'm just gonna put them in here so you can see the beautiful effect with the lace. So these are gonna go all the way in, and all you see is that pretty lace. So then I'll do the same with this one on this side, just like that. I really like the paper and the it's like a very rustic naturey feel to it. Love it. So pretty. So I am doing this, my idea is to give this as a gift for a wedding album, and I think it looks really cute like that. So also something to keep in mind with this album is when you add your embellishments. For example, on this first page here, I'm going to use this little flower that I have left over with a little bit more of that pretty lace, just to make it look really elegant. Hi, Jessie.
Hi.
What you doing? But on the inside pages, because you do want these to slide, so for example, I wouldn't put this flower here because then it won't slide as easy and they will get caught up with each other and it will be really hard to close. So try to keep your embellishments inside to the minimum. Embellish with pretty paper, embellish with some pretty border like these. I did went ahead and also punch my waterfall here, and my waterfall is kind of narrow, but what I intend to do is just place white cards to write messages for the wedding, but you can always cut this a little bit larger. So I'm gonna use these little cutouts to create little folding cards for the front here. So this little cutout, I measured it, it measures 4 by 2 3/4. So I'm gonna cut these at 4 1/4 by 6. So let me do that right here. And if you are using a different collection and you don't have cards like that, just cut a 4 by 3, and then we're gonna double it. So this one that measures 6 by 4 1/4, I'm just gonna fold in half, just like that, and then I'm just gonna place this right on top. So let me grab my ink, just ink all around this and create this little card. So let me just add it here. Very cute and simple. So my idea is this could be like a message from the bride and a message from the groom. So I already made another one here. Love this paper, how sweet and romantic. Love it. So see how I am trying to incorporate a wedding theme, even though it's not a wedding collection, but you can use it for many many different ways. So now I'm just gonna add these two little cards here. So one right there, and the next one here. Just like so. So I think that looks really cute. And then this can be like a message from the groom, a message from the bride, place for journaling, pictures, whatever you like. You can add magnets if we want to close them up. You know, I'll probably add some magnets and some paper on that as well. So I think for this tutorial we are going to be done. I'm going to continue embellishing here. I'm going to cover this up, and then I'm going to embellish the side of the album as well, over here and there. Well, let me close this right. Okay, so I hope that you guys enjoy the tutorial. I hope that you give it a try. Please don't forget to visit JS Hobbies and Crafts. I have the link on the description box below, as well as the list of supplies that I use to make this. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.